Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Rich Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on Giannis Antetokounmpo's first shoe in his takedown line, the Giannis Immortality. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and smash that notification bell so you never miss another video like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Giannis Immortality features a full-length herringbone traction pattern. The outsole, however, is like slightly decoupled right here in the forefoot, and it is segmented into like 3 different sections. This middle section with like the solid rubber, and then these 2 other sections with the translucent rubber. And let me tell you, the traction on this shoe, even though it does have herringbone, it's just okay. If you're playing on your cleaner courts, you really won't have any problems. You will have a really good bite. However, if you are playing on your, average gym courts, you're probably going to run into a problem where you just slide to a stop more often than not, especially if you don't wipe. So make sure you are consistently wiping if you are playing on those dustier courts. But yeah, like I said, on cleaner courts, the bite's really nice. And honestly, even though this shoe does have like a dual traction pattern, like translucent rubber and a solid rubber, I didn't really notice too much of a difference in between the 2 sections. I was expecting really good traction no matter the court conditions, just because this does have a herringbone traction pattern, but that's just not the case. So yeah, just make sure if you are playing on those dusty courts, just make sure you wipe, otherwise you will slide to a stop. I never had issues where I slid out, but I was consistently sliding to a stop. So moving on to the cushion, the Giannis Immortality features a full-length, what I'm guessing a full-length Phylon midsole. Nike doesn't say exactly what the cushion is, but yeah, I'm gonna guess it's a full-length Phylon. And it's okay. It's not extremely firm like in some Kyrie models. However, it is still on the firmer side. In the heel, you do get like some impact protection. It is, I would say, very minimal. And then up in the forefoot, it does start to thin out, so you're getting more responsiveness. There is just a slight impact protection in the forefoot, but yeah, this really is more of a firmer setup. But for it being a Phylon and for this being, a budget shoe, I'm not really gonna complain, because this cushion, compared to like other Nike shoes within this price point, I would say that the cushion is probably slightly better. There is maybe one shoe that probably does have better cushion than this, that is a budget model shoe. However, for this being what it is, the cushion is okay. Definitely not the best. If you are looking for a lot of impact protection, this is definitely not it. But yeah, overall the cushion setup is whatever. One thing that I do really like about how they sculpted this midsole though is the curvature in the heel. It does really help with the heel to toe transition in this shoe. It really propels you into your stride, so that is nice. But yeah, strictly from a cushion standpoint, it is just okay. So moving on to the materials, the Giannis Immortality features a full textile upper, or maybe it's like some sort of mesh. I'm not exactly sure actually what kind of material this is. It feels like a textile, so I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, the material is actually pretty nice. To the touch, it does feel good. In terms of performance, it is a little bit lackluster, which I will get to later. You'll see why. But yeah, you do have like this full textile upper. The swoosh over here is like this see-through plastic. And then as you move towards the back, you do have like a foam back nylon material, which is nice, feels okay. And the tongue is an open air mesh with very minimal padding. But I think because of the lace choice that they decided to go with the shoe, even if you crank down the laces, you don't really feel it digging into your foot, so that is a pretty nice touch. But yeah, strictly from a material standpoint, in terms of performance, I'm gonna say it doesn't get the job done, but it is pretty nice quality for the price. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the Giannis Immortality does run true to size. I'm a slightly wide footer. I went true to size and I was okay. However, if you are, on the wider side, I would probably recommend you all go up a half size, because if you do go true to size, you may fit in the shoe, but you may feel a little bit of pressure over here, and also your foot will probably be hanging off of this midsole, and that's not something that you want. Outside of that, you know, for some reason I feel like it's just a slightly long, but yeah, I think going true to size is everyone's best bet. The materials do lie very nicely over my feet. It feels really good. There isn't too much padding in the heel area, and I'll kind of get to that later as well. But yeah, you know, overall I would say that the fit is pretty decent, just not very wide foot friendly. So moving on to the support, this is where the Giannis Immortality has some issues. Especially for me, you do have an internal heel counter, which is supposed to help with the heel slippage and, you know, just locking your heel in, but there is such minimal padding back here that I did have a little bit of heel slippage. You know, it wasn't to the point where my foot was completely sliding out of the shoe. It was actually very minimal, but, you know, like I mentioned before, that's just not something that you want in the back of your mind when you're, you know, just playing. It feels like the shoe could come off, and that's really annoying. And then, you know, I had a lot of side-to-side movement on the footbed. The materials on the shoe just don't cut it when it comes to lateral containment. If you are wanting to do, you know, a lot of lateral movements, there were times where I felt my foot sliding over that footbed a lot, and it was not good. I'm sure if you like to put a lot of torque on your shoes, you'll probably slide off the footbed and you might injure yourself, and that's just not something that you want. So that is something to keep in mind. This does have a very wide base, and the midsole itself does actually act as an outrigger. But like I said, if you're doing a lot of lateral movements, putting a lot of torque on your shoes, you'll probably slide off that footbed anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So like I said, this is really the area where the shoe just does not do well. I had a lot of support issues in here. So overall, I would say that the support in the shoe is not that good. The Giannis Immortality retails for $80, and you know, that is a pretty good price for like the quality of the materials and stuff that you're getting on the shoe. But just in terms of the performance, you know, there are other budget shoes within this price point that outperform the shoe strictly because they have better traction and they have better support. The cushion, you know, yeah, in here is pretty good for the $80, but I would honestly go with something like with a little more firm cushion, just so I don't have the issues with the support, because the support in here just is really lackluster, and that's probably why, you know, PJ Tucker got his ankles broken while he was playing in these shoes in one of the finals games. So yeah, you know, for 80 bucks, I wouldn't really recommend these. I would say go for it if you're a Giannis fan or you're just really curious. But for me, you know, I had a lot of issues with the shoe. So personally, I can't recommend you all go out and get yourselves a pair. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. Also hit that notification bell so you never miss another video just like this. Check out this video on my left, check out this video on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.